Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Today is my honor to invite Mark from Megapont to join us. Hello, Mark. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. Pleased to be here, and thanks for having me.
Yay. Welcome to our channel. I think many people in my community know people are really get into the Stacks community, and I'm kind of promote Stacks community instead of only one Ethereum. I think that's kind of boring. And also everybody's know, blue chips projects in Stacks is the Megapont, because I've made the Megapont video previously and people got really interested in it. So this is my honor to invite Mark to come to join us. So we are going to ask Mark, what do you think, or how do you come to the blockchain community? How do you come to the Web3? Why are you going to make this Megapont project?
Yeah, so I've always been involved in crypto, holding crypto for a long time. Many people know that. And I kind of came into NFTs around about COVID time. So I was involved in the art world, doing KYC due diligence there. And we had a number of galleries and auction houses come to us and say, hey, have you seen NFTs? It was mostly around the time of Beeple. There really wasn't the idea of collectibles taking off. Like, some of them existed, but the floor price of some of these things was kind of low. And all of these traditional art houses were really focusing on on-chain governance and ownership. They had no idea what would happen in, say, late 2021, where we'd have this collectible boom. And so I've always been involved. And then fast forward to summer of last year, we decided as a team, and I'll come on to more of the team later, to build a project on a blockchain. Ethereum, Stacks, Solana, we had no idea which blockchain. And we decided on Stacks because we felt like we enjoyed being involved with that community a bit more. Things were a little bit slower. There was a more long-term approach to look at things. And it was a really new chain, which was interesting because you had the double upside potential. So
what is this time? When is the time around this time?
This is around September when we were deciding on the chain.
Okay, so this is still early. Even for Stacks, this is still early.
Yeah, I mean, when we first started looking at Stacks, the only project that had minted at the time was the punks, so the cloned punks, and there was no marketplaces. You couldn't really do anything with them. You could mint one of these NFTs, but they were just stuck there in your wallet. There was no infrastructure anywhere on Stacks to do anything with them. So it was really early. And then what pushed us over the edge was when we started to see projects like Bitcoin Birds and Pops and Bell's Witches and some of these other projects that were forcing some of the infrastructure that was already established on Ethereum, like marketplaces and wallet tools to trade and send NFTs and that kind of thing. So we decided to launch on Stacks around about September, and we just started building there. So the team has wide Ethereum networks. And one thing that we didn't want to do was leverage those existing networks. We wanted to build something completely new off our own back and say, hey, let's try and do this the right way. Let's try and build it organically and not try and pump and hype up some project, because we thought that would be different anyway on Stacks, because the Stacks community weren't really into NFTs at the time. They were kind of new. So it's not like Ethereum in September where you could put up a web page, you could open a link to Discord and thousands of people would pour in. For a long period of time in our Discord, there'd be 50 people in there. I'd wake up on a morning. Really early, yeah. It'd be 50 people, and everyone would know who each other was, and we would kind of post stuff for feedback. I mean, even our whitelists mint pass process at the beginning, all you had to do was join Discord and click a button.
You join, you get the whitelist.
That was it. There was like this React roll up that said, hey, if you want to mint our upcoming mint, here's some details.
Hey, just
press
join.
This button, just join, and you've got it.
That's good.
And then it started to pick up. It was more popular, and we had to then have those little raffle bots that were really hyped. And even then, if I was like working late at night and it's like, say, 2 a.m., you could send me a message and say, hey, Mark, can I have whitelist? And I was giving them out to people. Not it wasn't favoritism. It was just, we had no idea what Megapont would become. And to say right now that we thought it would be the blue chip on Stacks is just me lying. We had a roadmap, and the roadmap actually ended with robots. The original.
No, we extend the roadmap right now.
So all the roadmaps out of the window. Out of the window. We're way past the original roadmap. Like we've delivered on that And it's just, we were going to move on as a team. But then when we looked at the community that we've built, we're like, hey, this community is really special. Leaving this and not continuing to build with this group of individuals would be crazy, because we've all been on different projects on different chains, and we genuinely felt like what we built was completely unique. So I hope that's a nice, succinct little overview on the project and our vision of how we became. A nice story about the artist. When I started speaking to Weasley, who's the pixel artist on Megapont, so he's a Russian pixel artist who's previously worked with. I think
that's a very risky strategy, because in my idea, if we want to build a pixel art NFT project into a really, really decent, that actually is very, very difficult. At the first beginning, people will look into the artwork. People say, hey, this is pixel art. Everybody can do it. But actually, the value is not only the art. The value is supposed to be the community and the team behind it. I think that's the most difficult one to do.
The art, and because Weasley's worked with like Apple, Riot Games, like really big companies. He's an established pixel artist. He's been doing it for a decade.
I see.
What that enabled us to do, especially at the beginning, was use his art as a marketing tool. So it was genuinely good pixel art, and we were able to move much faster than a lot of other projects who use agencies or artists who are freelancers and are doing 5 things at the same time. So we had one pixel artist whose sole focus was Megapont, and Weasley was able to churn out stuff at such a pace, and it meant that I think the big boost we had the first time was when we built the one-of-one ape with the Stacks cap, the animated one with the rainbow background. And we put that on Twitter, and it was the first time Stacks had picked it up as well. So they retweeted it. And at the time, that was crazy for us. We were like, wow, this is insane. And I've spoken to a lot of people at Stacks since, and they said they're interested. Sorry, we were kind of all together on Slack, and we get this message from someone on the team who says, hey, have you seen this art? Like, how cool is this? And they immediately, the first thing they said was, is this original? Like, who's behind this? And they're like, oh, we have no idea. But this is just a cool project building on Stacks. We need to know who this is. So we leveraged the art as a marketing tool because it was so good at the time.
Yeah, agree.
But it only gets you to the starting line in a good spot, right? You're in the inside lane. Everything you do from there on out is probably for the most part going to be not related to art, because you can drop all of the NFTs with airdrops and like baby breeding and all of these things you want to, but if the original collection and the community has no value, then they're going to be worthless. No one's going to want them.
Yep. So how about let's like go through very quick, show people what we're talking about.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let's come to the Megapont Twitter. So we have a new tweet up. The first of it is a newsletter. We're going to go through newsletter, and we have these apps together. We have the cons. This is cons people talk about all the time in our group, all the time. Everybody wants the con.
Yeah.
So when we come to Mark's Twitter, everybody, please come to follow Mark. So Mark is our boss, in our community, like really, really smart, nice guy. Come to follow him. And let's come to the Megapont website. Hey, maybe you can go through it. I'll let you go through it.
Yeah, so we call this big piece here, the Megapont Metropolis, and this is actually what our partner Landvault, they're building in. They're building for us in, I guess, the metaverse. They're building it in Sandbox. So we're going to have this Megapont Metropolis as an interactive world experience for users of the Sandbox. Now, when is that launching? Who knows? Could be soon. Could be years away. But yeah, we went out. We got the best team to build this for us, because building something like this requires a dedicated full team. But there's so many stories to tell in this piece of artwork. Yeah, it's so detailed.
Yeah, the first time when I look at it, this is just a piece of art. But when we look into details, wow, every small little corner, that's a story. Somewhere in the room, that's a story. It's really, really detailed.
Yeah, so Weasley's been working on this for, this piece here has been worked on for years, right? So he's had this idea of the Megapont, he calls it the Megaverse. So he's had this idea of the Megaverse in his mind for a long, long time. And he's been working on pixel art related to that for a long, long time. So when we come out with pieces like this, it's because he's been doing this for a decade. So he's been working on these big ideas for a long time. So one of the first ideas he wanted to do was actually to mint every character you see on there. Right.
Wow,
so this
really?
is quite
It's a
interesting.
lot.
So,
it's a lot.
yeah. So all of the characters would be what you actually mint. So that was what we were exploring initially, right? So like these characters crossing the road, the people on the bikes, you would mint those and you would own those characters. And you would be able to move
this
those in the
metro
world.
station.
Yeah,
this car actually they have this kind of design, right?
Yeah, so that's going to be in the world as well in Sandbox. So some of these are more difficult. Like I don't think the team that we're using to build like that big robot, because that's really hard for them to build. But yeah, and some of the rooms are going to have purposes, which are really cool. So like this big central building in the middle, it's probably going to be like some sort of town hall where maybe we'll host virtual events in the future. And we'll probably have some other buildings have some mini gaming experiences as well.
Nice. So the Megapont, we have this Megapont clubs, and it's all on Stacks, and we have this robot factory. We just talk about this robot factory. People are get really into it.
The robot factory is an odd one because it's been 10 times more difficult to support than we ever thought it would be. So for those who don't know, the robots are an NFT in themselves, and there are a whole bunch of other NFTs that you can put on the robots. So like hats, different body parts, different eyes, different mouths. So we've got these constantly evolving NFTs, and that's on chain, like the ownership of those tokens and the merging of them is on chain. But obviously we've got some centralized APIs to produce the art and stuff like this. So it's just a really difficult thing to maintain.
Very complicated project, actually.
Yes, very, very complicated, but it's so much fun.
Even for the users, when I need to trade my parts, because I have like 200 pieces of the parts, I want to find some parts to trade among 3 exchanges. I just spend hours and hours and hours looking for it. But it's really, really fun.
Yeah, good.
When we come to the team, do you mind like share a little bit about the team members?
Yeah, so this is sort of a lie. And I say it's a lie because there's a lot more people now working on the project in various different roles. So the original team, you could say, would be Weasley here, who's these handles are the Twitter handles.
Yes.
So Weasley is the artist, so one of the founders on the project. You have myself on engineering,
yes.
Mr. Z on engineering as well.
Okay.
So similar background to myself. We met in Web 2 on a startup accelerator about a decade ago.
Wow.
We're both
friends.
We're both founders at heart. Have raised VC investment in the past. We've had roles at various sort of big corporations, and that's how we met. So about 10 years ago. And then we have the 2 mods. So our mod team is very small, unlike almost any other NFT project. Because Slinger and FaZe are mods that I know personally. So I've known these 2 for about 5 years as well. And I can trust them. I don't ever have to worry about anything happening. I know they're switched on with security. I know if there's an issue that one of them can reach me by mobile outside of Discord means. So I never have to worry. And I think as a founder, going to sleep at night and something happening to the Discord or something being out of control, because I know I can trust everyone on the team.
Yeah, so I think the trust is most important things. I mean, in the web world.
It's crazy when I go to an NFT project and I see 24 Discord mods who
people
have been
dozens.
in the Discord for 2 days.
Yeah, right. Dozens.
It's crazy. You need to trust your core team. And we have so much transparency across the team. Everyone knows who's working on what everyone's doing.
Yeah, so we can come to the Discord, can go through it a little bit. When we come to Discord, I think the number of population just catch my eyes. Wow, this 3,000 only. It's not a huge population though.
It is pretty. So we are also like very, very aggressive against bots, right? Like getting into the Megapont server is quite difficult. There's the capture in front of it, and then also we have the highest. You have to have a verified cell phone as well to enter, which nearly every other NFT project just doesn't bother, because what does it do? It increases the barrier to entry, right? Yes. And every project sees that population as a growth indicator. So they're like, hey, we really want to make it as easy as possible for you to get into the Discord. Whereas conversely, we're saying, no, we want to make it as difficult as possible for you to get into the Discord, because we don't want you in there unless you're a real person who wants to be there, right?
Or for the holders, like NFT holder, the participants, or the community contributors, I think this is all the people we are welcome.
Yeah. And Ape Village, it's odd, like how this channel. So
this is the place we stay here.
So active
all the time.
So
active all the time.
It's so active in comparison to almost any other NFT project channel that I go to, especially channels with only 3,000 members. I think that's important to highlight, because we like to joke that everyone in Megapont is actually a real person as well, which is very unusual. I think if we turned down the verification, maybe done some marketing, we could probably bump it up to 20,000 in a couple of days. But what's the point? It's just pointless.
That's just the numbers. A lot of that could be bots, right?
And a lot of them are bots in other servers as well. Yep.
So I'm aware that we have a newsletter come out just the other day, yesterday, and you mentioned there's a new roadmap here. Do you mind sharing with us a little bit about what the app together mean and apps and all this is here?
Yeah. So this is, I don't want to call it a roadmap. It's like, hey, this is what we're working on for the next 2 months, right? So this is a little overview of what we're doing for 2 months. Megapont is definitely a multi-year project. So we're thinking in terms of months, years, not like weeks. But we wanted to bring out this more concise overview of, hey, this is what you can expect over the next couple of months, right? So we have the apes together mint, and we could touch on that in a moment. So I won't go into too much detail. We have the apes. So these are the ape derivative of apes going to space. So this is a free mint for the holder of the Megapont apes, where your apes will put on their spacesuit, they're going off into space, and you're going to get a free animated pixel art representation of your ape in space, right? So we've got some really cool things planned for some of the special apes. So we already have one space ape, so we have to do something really special for the Astro ape, right? And then we have got the merchandise. Everyone has been waiting for the merchandise for so long, so it's excited to finally release the sale of that. Apes is our token. We've renamed that back to Mega, right? So it was called Mega. We called it Apes. Everyone was like, I hate apes. Don't call it Apes. So we've turned it back to Mega.
But what made you change the idea?
So I wanted to change it personally because I was like, fits thematically more with the vision of the token. But everyone's like, I hate it. Let's not do this. So it's going back to Mega. So it's going to be Mega. And then on April 11th, we have the Mega Kongs mint. So obviously everyone's really excited for the Mega Kongs mint.
I see. So later here's the merchants, right? It's all the merchants. So you could deliver all over the world. So we're going to use a global fulfillment partner with this. We're also doing something really new with a company called Primer.io. Paying for this merchandise is going to be the first time a merchant, which will be us in this instance, has availed this kind of payment method. So you'll be able to pay with credit cards, with your debit card, or with Hero, or with your MetaMask wallet directly. Wow,
so it'll be one cohesive checkout experience where you'll put your basket, you'll press buy, and you can pay with whatever means you want to.
Wow.
So
we can pay either by Hero or like MetaMask.
Yeah.
Wow. This is the first time
or with your credit cards.
Wow.
Yes, it is. So we're the proof of concept on a really big partnership, which was super exciting.
Yeah, I also read this. We have the collaboration with Alex.
Yeah, this is for the token, the Mega token that is now called Mega again. This token we have this vision for the token here, where the token is going to give the holder of the token and governance, ownership, some sort of community part to play in apes together and Megapont, right? So
can I switch this token into Stacks or ETH?
It's in Stacks. So this token is Stacks.
Okay, so we can switch it into Stacks, right?
Yeah. So
okay, on Alex,
Yeah.
So how about the cons? Everybody's like really excited at Mega Cons.
I'm excited for Mega Kongs. So the artist Steve Abbonato, who works on Kongs, actually has his own project down the line called Monkasaurs that I was helping him out with. And I was like, hey, let's buy all of your time you have. So we've bought, he's really frustrated on one hand because he wants to work on his own thing and we've just sucked all of his time. But he's been working on Kongs now. And people are kind of starting to see this with us. We don't rush things. So Kongs have been worked on since
2 months already.
No, October, November.
Wow, so it's like 4 months, even 4 months.
It's long time, yeah. And like they take a lot of time to get right. And that's the thing. I mean, you can see that the quality there is amazing. And what we're highlighting here on the art here is that, so this is the generative base on the left for each of the one of ones.
Yeah,
so
this
you can
one.
kind of see how you can see how you get from the base to that one of one. And
And
obviously
we need to put a
just,
lot of like helmet with the weapons, call the garments.
Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of exciting traits for that. And here, and I asked Steve, the artist, to say that, can we show some like working progress? Because people, like other artists, are interested in how does this all work? How does this all fit together? So here we're highlighting that, you know, you might see this being a head trait, but realistically, there's multiple parts of this under the hood that actually piece together. And obviously this uses our generative art platform. So you can apply shading before and after and all this kind of shadowy stuff. So it's really exciting to see how Steve's mind works to piece it together. So yeah, and here we are. Here's the
space
apes in space. Yeah,
nice.
Animated as well. They're going to be super cool, especially because your apes keep some traits, right? So you can see, so this ape exists, this green ape with the goggles and the whistle exists. So if you have an ape like my 3D glasses ape that you really vibe with, it's going to come through into the space ape, which is really nice. Like, I'm not going to want to sell my space ape because it's my ape. It's part of
that's like identity
in
the future.
Yeah,
you know,
I don't want to get rid of that. Some people might sell it, but hey, how would I feel if someone was rocking my space ape as a PFP? It'd be weird.
It'd be really weird because that's you, right?
It'll look like me, yeah. So it's really exciting. It's going to be a narrative-driven drop as well, which is kind of cool.
And we also have this like apps together cards. We can go through this to the website. So when it comes to the comms website, actually really fun because that's the button here. You can click and it will switch different cons here. The different kind of design, even these mutants with this different kind of things. Really, everybody come here and play around. I think this is really cool.
Yeah, I think closer to the mint, we'll put up a button for some generative ones, I think.
Okay.
That'd be really cool.
Okay. So when we come to the apps together, I think this is the membership card. Yeah. So do you mind to share with us a little bit?
So I'm more excited about this than anything else. And people,
what is this about? What is this about? Only 1,000 NFT. That's it. We have more than 1,000 people. How can I guarantee?
However, this isn't suitable for everyone, and that's the key here. So the Apes Together membership cards is access to the Apes. So Apes Together is now like a legal entity in the UK. It's an actual company with staff, and Apes Together membership card is access to all of the tools that we build within Apes Together. So that essentially is all of the tools that Megapont is built on, all of the tools that Weirdo is built on, all of the tools that we've availed to other projects. And there are a number of those who use various parts of the Megapont infrastructure. And the goal of those tools really is to just enable Web3 builders. So if I'm an artist and I want to have an NFT project, but I don't know how to do generative art, I don't know how to do contracts, I don't know how to do SalesBot, Apes Together will have all of that tooling so you can get up and running in a professional manner, in a polished manner, an audited manner, and have a best-in-class experience for your community without running into all of the same problems that we did.
So if I understand correctly, it's more like incubators with technical support kind of tools. Community.
Yeah, you can think of it like that. Yeah, so the Apes Together will build everything, and the community will become this community of creators and builders, which is, it'll have this, in my mind, it will have, I mean, one of the perks as well, it comes with a free Kong, which is quite interesting.
Yep.
And that's an indication of how I think the group will develop in the future, whereby, hey, person X will come along and will build their NFT project, and they're part of Apes Together, and they reach out to the Apes Together community and say, I'm launching this project and I want you folks to be involved with preferential access, whether that's discounted mint, a free mint, or just like a whitelist process. So it's a different kind of alpha group because it's focusing specifically on the builders, right? So
why are the numbers like only 1,000? We don't want to like take to 10,000.
Because we want to create a small community that we can have a good handle on, right? We don't want to become a community management platform where we're managing like this massive amount of people who all have questions of how do I do this? How do I do this? And I think it degrades the value of the community overall as well. So the pass is quite expensive. It's 0.65 ETH.
Yep. It's not cheap.
It's It's not cheap, and it's priced. So that we kind of calculated, and this is common with Megapont. Most Megapont mints are free if you're a holder of the ape. In fact, they all have been up to now. And
really? If I hold the Megapont, I can mint this for free?
So no, if you hold a Megapont, you could mint the robot for free, the apes in space for free. You're going to get the voxel for free. But apes together is kind of a little bit separate. And
is that like whitelist? What if I want
there's
to?
There's no whitelist. However, we're thinking maybe of doing
whitelist. Are you serious?
a lot of apes have reached out to us and said, "We really want this. Like, how can you make sure I get it?" So we're thinking maybe
if you don't have a whitelist, I'm going to hire some computer scientists to drop a flash bot to grab everything.
Yes, there's no whitelist.
You might think about whitelist.
We might change it. We might change it.
Okay.
And it's because it's not for everyone. That's the key. There's a few really big projects on ETH who use the tooling I mean, this is our only concern, that some of like the watched wallets will buy in, and people watch Nansen and they'll say, hey, he's minting this really weird project that no one's ever heard of. What's going on there? They'll go to the website, and as soon as they start to see that's builders and creators, they'll be like, okay, they're part of this group. So that's the only risk I think of it selling out really fast when some of the more known wallets start buying in.
So I am reading this the community for builders, innovators, and investors. Well, how about for normal people? How do they get here and buy this?
Yeah, I mean, well, a normal person could just buy the pass. And I think it's interesting. A lot of people in the Megapont community have said, I want to buy the pass to support the team.
Yeah.
So I want to support you, Mark, and the team.
Yeah.
And that's fine. We're more than happy with that. And I think the dynamics here, like the trading dynamics, will be very different. So as we start adding more and more tooling and the software suite, you could get to a point where everyone who starts an NFT project, say later in this year, will need this pass or will want this pass because it saves them a developer, it saves them doing this, it saves them buying this. So if I'm building a project and I buy this pass, then I've got generative art, I've got all of the mint pass management, the sales bot, the anti-bot stuff for Discord, or whatever else we build. So it saves you as a creator a huge sum of money and time and effort. So that's the market dynamic. If you're just saying, I'm thinking of flipping this, and we can't stop people doing that. If there's an opportunity to flip something, people will flip it. So everyone said to us, how are you going to stop that? No one can stop
this
it.
Is the
we're
market.
Not going to lie.
Yeah,
we're not going to lie and waste energy in trying to stop that because it's pointless. It's going to happen. We had a Weirdos mint on Friday, and there was only 18 tokens, and they sold out in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So just a flash bot. It just waited for the mempool.
See, I told you that's a flash bot everywhere.
Yeah, it saw the transaction in the mempool, and it was like, hey, I'm going to buy all these. Thank you very much. And all of the regular folks sitting there on the website waiting to refresh, just too slow. It's gone in the same block, or you just can't beat that. And there are ways that you can build against that. They're difficult. They need to be well thought out and well managed. And it's funny. It's an odd market dynamic because the person who bought those 18 tokens, I know we're going off on one here, he has an incentive to hold and sell those at the right time. You don't want to dump everything on the market. They're an investor or a trader. They want to maximize their profits. So they're probably going to wait and slowly get their capital back. So they're not too bad for the project. They're not as bad as like the old bots that we would see that would used to buy thousands of tokens and just dump them instantly.
Nope. So how about this, like Apollo?
Yeah.
What is the Apollo means? Like Osiris, Freya?
Yeah. So they're all named after mythology and sort of like these Greeks and I don't want to say Greek, but various gods from different religions over time. And that's mostly, it came from my love of playing a game called Smite, actually, way back. So it's like a little MOBA game. And I used to love reading into mythology and all of these stories around sort of various gods and goddesses. And that's why they're named as such. So this one, Apollo, is a generative art platform. That's what Megapont's built on. It's what Weirdos is built on. It's what Megakongs are built on, and a few other projects I don't want to name right now. And it's a platform where you can go from saying, hey, I'm an artist building this cool art, to pressing a few buttons and having the art output in blockchain format. Metadata, it's shuffled, there's provenance hashes. And if not, you can just play around as well and use it as a tool to build your generative art collection, i.e., hey, I'm thinking of adding these glasses. What do they clip with? What don't they work with? What rules do I need? So it's a platform for either developers to use the API with, or artists to use the application with to build an NFT collection, generative art collection.
How about the second one?
Yep. So Cyrus is, we've struggled on Megapont and on a lot of other projects have struggled with this, gathering whitelisted addresses. It's a really difficult problem to solve. So what we're building here is a platform for you to gather whitelist addresses with set criteria. So that can be whether it's a Discord role, it could be a verified phone number, it could be a verified Twitter account, or it could be like a balance or another token in a wallet. So this is basically building a very similar platform to that you would see maybe on Mechaverse, right? Where they had a really nice interface for capturing addresses, but it's closed source, it wasn't open source, it couldn't be customized. So this would be a nice way for, I've got a
So
project.
with this on Ethereum or on Stacks?
So all of the tools that we're building are Stacks and Ethereum.
Oh, both. Yeah, both of them.
Both. Yeah, we'll work on both Stacks and Ethereum. And that's really cool because, say, the first tool, you might say, I only want someone to mint on my project if they have MetaMask and Hero. So they need to have both. Yep. And they need to be in my Discord. So depending on the project.
So Freya, it's more like a reporting system.
Yeah, this is really simple. Everyone has a sales bot in their Discord, right? And or on Twitter. Problem is, not everyone is a developer. It takes a little bit of time to set up. And I'm here, like I hear stories all the time of artists paying 5 ETH for someone to create this for them. Like 5 ETH,
that's crazy.
It's not much work for a developer to do this. Well, the problem arises when you've got to think, I've just raised 300 Ethereum on the sale, and all my community now wants to report the sales. And a developer says, hey, I know you've got 300 Ethereum, I want 5. And as the project lead, you think, in the grand scheme of things right now, that's not a huge amount of money. But when you think of the US dollar terms, it's a lot of money for a sales bot. So a simple sales bot where you can customize what sales are reported as well. So whether it's over a certain threshold, you can have rules. So you might only want to put the big sales on Twitter, not everything. So a good example, Megapont, we don't want components on Twitter. Like it will just be too noisy if someone buys a component. So for reference, they're like $5 in sometimes, right? We don't want those sales reported. We just want the big stuff, the apes and maybe the robot mainframes.
Yep. So the launching day is 28th of February.
Yeah, soon. And
so like next week.
We didn't want like big marketing. We didn't want to build this up. We just wanted to drop it basically without much notice.
So would they have like flash bot somewhere? Like how can I guarantee if I want to buy one or I want to buy two? How can I guarantee?
So I think what we might do, we might have some period of time, maybe a few hours where apes have access. I think.
Okay.
That's what we might do.
Maybe we have a certain percentage of the spot is for the community members who are really contribute here and they can have little preference for them.
So I mean, in the Megapont community, we have at least 10 projects that have been created from within the community. So you look at something like Project Indigo. That was 2 people meeting from Megapont, and Megapont team have gave a lot of support to Project Indigo. You have Boozy right now creating some really good art. He's just starting out on his journey, and there's a lot more people in there as well. CBC, there's Nonish, that's a new project that was again from Megapont. So all of these projects are coming from within the community, and this is a way to say, we will give you the support and we will build the tooling for you to more easily build a Web3 or an NFT project.
I see. And right now I understand why we have these apps together, because this is all about the tools to help the other projects.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. As you mentioned, like Lin Jones and all the other projects came out. It's all from the Megapont.
Yeah.
Nice. So thank you so much today for sharing so much information with us.
So it's been my pleasure.
Is there any question for us, for me, for our community?
No. I think just keep doing what you're doing. It's great. I see your posts on Instagram, which is interesting. I don't see many people posting on Instagram, right? It's not in NFT.
No, if you look into my post in Instagram, I have like 30,000 followers.
It's amazing, yeah.
I used to work really hard because with the meetings, conference, try to meet people from Web 2.0 and like crypto blockchain world.
I know the feeling, yeah. You had crypto and Web3 on the night time, and yeah, I know so many people in the same position, yeah.
Yep. All right, so thank you so much for joining me. Appreciate it so much. So everybody go to Mark's Twitter to follow him, and welcome everybody to the Megapont world. Cool.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.
All right, cheers.